Today, I want to give you some tips and share some valuable information about AI in the M&A industry. And especially, I want to walk you through how our headquarters team is currently approaching this challenge. How the headquarters team is focusing on this complex and evolving matter, which is becoming more and more important for all of us every day. Now, all of you, for sure, are receiving many emails every single week about new tools, about new databases, about many things related to AI. And then you also hear about tools, about databases, about many different platforms and capabilities, about everything happening around AI in our industry. It really is a lot of information. And to be honest with you, it's completely exhausting to try to follow all of them. There are really many of them out there. But here at the headquarters, we really try to do our very best to stay on top of this, to stay on top of as much information and as many tools as we can possibly digest. And that's why today we want to share our findings with you. First of all, as I mentioned, many tools. This is only one example. I could find 231 different companies operating in this industry, the AI industry, covering everything from specialized databases to large language models to general purpose AI tools to industry specific applications. 231 companies. And that's just what we could identify so far. And there will be many more for sure in the coming weeks and months. Now, so far, we have all been working with traditional databases. You know Orbis, you know PitchBook, you know Merger Market, you know Zephyr, all of these databases that we use every single day, Dun & Bradstreet and others. All of these are databases built on traditional technology, on traditional architecture. They are SQL-based, they are well organized, they are structured, but now the new AI-powered databases are increasingly taking over the market. And they are doing this very quickly. More and more of these AI tools are emerging every single month. So I'm going to give you some concrete examples of the differences between traditional databases and these new AI databases. Here is an example. Imagine, for example, that we are looking for North American companies that provide agricultural irrigation solutions to the market, focused on distribution, design, installation, and so on. We have a real investor client who is actively looking for exactly this type of target company in the market. So we are going to try using the best traditional databases we have available to us, the top tier ones that most of you already know and use on a daily basis. First attempt, we are going to use Orbis, our primary database. We go into Marem. This right here is the Orbis platform inside Marem. The first thing we need to do here is apply the correct filters. So let me show you exactly how that works in the platform. North America is the first filter we apply. The second is the activity code. We need the activity. And first problem, we need to enter the specific NACE code for this activity. And honestly, I personally have no idea what the NACE code is for agricultural irrigation solutions. Not a clue. So we have to go to Google, our friend Google, and quickly look up the NACE codes that might apply to agricultural irrigation solutions. And we find that the correct codes are 0161 and 3600. We go back to Marem. We come back, we enter all the information into the system, and we click the filter button to run the search. And, oh, again, first problem here. There are 53,000 results on the screen. 53,000 companies. Too many. Okay, second attempt. We go to the second best database we have available in the market today. In this case, Dun & Bradstreet, Hoover's. Hoover's allows us to search for companies across the entire world, globally. So again, we search within North America, specifically in the United States, Mexico, and Canada, our 3 target countries. We enter the relevant industry codes into the system, but Hoover's has one special feature that is interesting. It actually allows us to search directly within the content of company websites. That's very useful in this case, because we can search for our specific keywords directly. Agricultural irrigation solutions. This really allows us to focus exactly on what we are trying to look for in the market. I am very happy. Let's click and see the results. So we click to see the results. One company. Only one single company appears in the entire result list. So between 54,000 results with the first database and just one single company with the second, we clearly have a problem.
We have a really big problem here, and this is exactly why we are moving and why we have to move to the new AI-powered databases. Let me walk you through the comparison between AI databases and traditional databases, the key differences between them. So why should we use the new AI databases? First reason is the interface itself. Take Grasp, for example. That's the specific AI database I'm going to show you today. It's a chat-based platform. You can really think of it like ChatGPT for M&A. You interact with the database through a natural conversation, not through complex forms, filters, or industry codes. With traditional databases, you really need to know the NACS code. You need to know how to operate all the filters correctly. You need to know how to manage all of these complex tools. It takes time. Second key difference, access to local registry data in each country. Both types of databases have company data. Traditional databases, as you all well know, have very solid company-level information in most markets. But when it comes to financial data, this is mostly available only in Europe. Outside of Europe, the coverage is very, very limited in most cases. Third key difference, information coming from the company website. Companies are more and more putting very relevant information directly on their own websites. Unfortunately, the traditional databases simply do not capture this website information at all. The AI databases, on the other hand, absolutely do, with access to over 100 million data points sourced from websites. And one more thing, increasingly important in our industry, third-party data sources. LinkedIn for contact information, Apollo or RocketReach for verified email addresses. All of this critical information is now essential for our daily work, and it was previously very hard to access at scale. AI databases now integrate all of these different sources natively in one place. Traditional databases, unfortunately, do not, at least not so far. Okay, and there is much more I want to show you. These are the results we typically get when we use traditional databases like PitchBook for a standard M&A search query. When we are searching for M&A targets for a specific mandate, the average result set that we receive is around 42 companies. With the new AI databases, you get significantly more results and better quality results.
Many, many more results in this case, as you can see. Okay, let me continue with the presentation. This here is a summary of some of the different AI databases that we have tested at the headquarters over the last several months. The ones we have actually licensed are Inven and Grasp. The headquarters currently holds active licenses for both of these tools. And let me tell you, they are not inexpensive at all. Inven, for example, costs 15,000 euros per year for one single user license, and Grasp is 20,000 euros per license. But you can see others, Layton, Seek, Grata, Rogo, some of which you may recognize because you receive emails from them. Also Cinta. Also comparables. This one is interesting. Right now, for example, the research team is testing comparables.ai. They claim to have a very, very good database, comparable in scope and quality to what we already have with Merger Market or PitchBook. So we're taking a careful look at their capabilities. So we are currently evaluating this tool. This is just a summary of the tools available in the market, a sample, 8 tools. Vicente Bosque from our team sends me 1 or 2 new AI tools every single week that he discovers and thinks are worth testing. Tools he comes across online and passes along. Hey Carlos, one more tool to test. And well, there we go, many, many of them. But let's go back to our example. Remember, we failed earlier with the traditional databases we tried. Now a third attempt. Same exact search criteria as before. North American companies that provide agricultural irrigation solutions to the market. And this time, you don't even need to think about codes. You simply paste the description into the chat interface of the AI database. This here is the front page of the AI database. We send the query through the chat, and within 1 minute, just 60 seconds, we receive a very nicely structured summary. The first response the AI gives us says, hey, there are actually 631 companies in total matching this specific profile that you described. In the United States, there are 47. In Mexico, there are 150. In Canada, and so on. Nicely broken down by value chain, service providers, distributors, and more. Already a very, very useful summary to have. But then, even better, the AI suggests next steps for us automatically. It asks, do you want to verify which of these companies specifically serve agricultural clients? Do you want to filter further? Do you want to identify specifically the companies that offer center pivots, drip irrigation systems, and similar products? Yes, 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 yes. I'll take absolutely everything it can give me. Because honestly, this is not my job to figure out manually. This is the AI's job. And of course, I can see all the detailed results right here on my screen. So I confirm to the AI immediately, yes, please proceed. Please go ahead and complete all of these suggested tasks. And again, we receive a new and much more detailed result from the AI, a refined company list with additional data, additional analysis, additional columns of information that weren't there before, much richer than what we had a minute ago. And once again, the AI proactively asks us, do you want to go further and refine even more? Do you want to dig into specific segments? Do you want to filter by particular criteria? It keeps guiding us. Yes, we can now see the links to each company, and we can also see 7 new data columns that the AI has automatically added to the table for us. These new columns contain specific information that the AI has identified from multiple different sources, from websites, LinkedIn, and other places. For example, the focus area of each company, whether they offer center pivots specifically, whether they specialize in agricultural equipment as a core business, whether their website actually mentions these specific products we care about, for example, pivots, drip irrigation systems, and similar. This is really remarkable because until now, we used to have to visit each company website individually, one by one, just to identify their products and services manually. And this type of specific, actionable information simply does not exist in traditional databases. It's not there. You will not find it. And this is exactly why you need these new AI databases. Now, what about the financial information on each company? And to be very clear about this, the AI does not invent financial figures. Never. If they don't exist, they don't. But we can still get a lot of very useful information about the company's activities and general profile. For example, if we click here on Grupo Tecún, one of the companies in the list, we can see detailed information about this specific company. Good. Without ever having to visit their actual website, we can see here the full company description, the products and services they offer, their LinkedIn profile, the contact information for the business, the number of employees pulled directly from their LinkedIn page, all here. And one of the most important features of this database, contacts, real contacts. Many of you have told me, hey Carlos, these databases have financial information, they have company data, but what about the contacts, the owners of the company? Who are the actual decision makers in these companies that I need to contact? Well, these AI databases actually go and find that information for you automatically. How? Not only from official databases, the way the traditional tools work, but from LinkedIn profiles, from the company websites themselves, from news articles, from press releases, and from many, many other online sources that the AI is constantly scanning. And because these AI databases are directly connected to specialized email intelligence tools like Apollo or RocketReach, which are some of the very best in the market for verified business emails, with just one click, you can download a complete list of verified business emails. High quality, verified, actionable contact information that you can use right away for your outreach campaigns. Okay, great. And we can actually do even more because I have a company list now, but I also need to send something concrete to my client, to my investor client, to start the conversation. A document, a presentation, I need a PowerPoint, real documentation. I don't want to send an Excel, right? So we simply tell the AI, hey, please create a one-page PowerPoint summary for me for the top 5 companies on this list. Done. Remember, this is not just a database anymore. This is actually an AI. So it creates a full PowerPoint presentation using all the information it already has gathered about these companies. And the result? In under one single minute, we have 5 complete PowerPoint slides, nicely formatted, with structured company information for each of the top 5 targets. 5 slides, 60 seconds of work. Of course, you might ask, where are the financial figures? Well, because this specific company is based in Guatemala, remember.
And in Guatemala, there is simply no publicly available financial information at all. But even so, even with that limitation, this is still the best information that any M&A advisory firm in the world could possibly provide to a client about a company operating in Guatemala today. Good. So good information, good quality, and good databases behind it. That's really the key takeaway here. Now, the obvious question, hey, Carlos, how do I get access to this? Careful, one single user license, 20,000 euros, right? So these tools are currently only available at the headquarters level, but you can make use of them. Just ask us. If you have a prospect, if you have a potential mandate, or if you have an active mandate inside Marem, many of you have already received company lists from these AI tools over the past few weeks and months. You know how useful they are. Good, done. But if you need something very specific, if you think to yourself, hey, this is really, really hard for me to find on my own. I've tried everything. Ask. Reach out directly to the origination team or to the research team here at the headquarters. Ask for it. The goal for us is that in the future, you will have direct access to all of these tools yourselves. But realistically, that will take some time to implement properly, right? In part because these companies typically limit the total number of users per license they sell. They restrict how many people can actually use one account. And managing all that access takes real coordination.
And also because you really do need some serious training to use these tools effectively and professionally. You need to know how to use them well to get the best results. Fortunately, the team we have here at the headquarters is already fully trained on all of these tools. Good. Now, let's move on quickly because our time here today is short to the AI tools that are already available inside Marem right now, right? Already there. Let me show you. If you open Marem right now on your computer, you will see a brand new tool available to all of you in prospects, right? Go into Marem and then click on prospects, your prospects section. Good, your list. You will see your full list of prospects. There is a new button now on every single prospect. This one, the button you can see here, right? Meeting prep. It helps you prepare a client meeting, right? So we click on the button and then this new screen will appear in front of you, right? What you can see here on the screen is who in the one-to-one network actually knows about this specific industry, who has relevant experience in this space, who has worked on similar mandates before, who you could possibly collaborate with, right? The AI basically knows your full profile in one-to-one, your CV, the mandates you've managed, the ones you're managing today. And if you want to know who in the network has expertise relevant to your specific prospect, who has the right background, the right contacts, the right sector knowledge for this opportunity you're working on, you can simply click here and find out in seconds. You get the industry track record within one-to-one for this sector, a full company analysis of this specific prospect, a list of prospective investors that could be interested, relevant past transactions in the space, existing and potential mandates in the network that could match this opportunity. And on top of all of that, a custom questionnaire the AI proposes specifically designed to help you prepare for this particular client meeting. You can also generate real-time insights about this specific prospect and about its potential buyers in the market, right? And everything is focused on the exact prospect you have selected. There's no need to manually ask the AI questions about this company every time. The context is already there. You just click the Generate button, and for example, you can see right here on the screen, two groups of professionals appear. Group 1, professionals with evidence of leading mandates in this specific sector. And Group 2, professionals with relevant background before one-to-one. And then you see a complete list of actual one-to-one members that match your search. In this specific case, we can see Jesus Razo, we can see Paulo Suarez, and others in the network. These are real people in the network that you can reach out to directly, people you can connect with, people you can collaborate with on this opportunity. Very, very useful. Okay, one more example here, the company analysis feature. What does the AI actually know about this specific company we're looking at? It uses not just the website information of the company, but also if financial data is available inside Marem, the AI automatically incorporates those financials into its analysis and builds a much richer picture of the company from both sides. The output you receive will be something like, hey, this company is based in X, the revenues are Y, the EBITDA is Z, and so on. A complete full financial analysis and activity analysis of the business. This is really very useful if you are preparing for a meeting with the owners of this company, or if you are preparing for a pitch to an investor, or simply trying to understand the business quickly before a conversation. And one final example for today. If you need a short list of potential investors active in this specific sector, just 3, 4, or 5 good names of currently active investors, maybe just to put on the table during your first meeting with a potential seller, you just click the Generate button right there, and you immediately receive a short list with detailed descriptions of the most relevant investors for this deal, with profiles that you can explore further if you want. You can also do this with Gemini or with Claude. Claude is very, very popular right now. It's the tool of the moment. Everyone wants to use Claude. But Claude is not connected to our financial databases. It is not connected to our proprietary activity data, and it is not connected to our mandate history. The AI inside Marem, on the other hand, absolutely is connected to all of that. So, and this is just 1 minute from me, we really invite all of you to share your own direct experience with AI tools with us. So, to summarize everything we've seen today, we have looked at many tools out there in the market. We have seen many new AI databases emerging. And honestly, some of these tools are genuinely useful for our work, but many of them are simply a waste of time. I know that some of you are already using Claude, some are using Gemini, some are using ChatGPT. My advice to all of you is always the same. Be very careful. Always, always, always review the information carefully before sharing it anywhere, either internally with our team or externally with any client. Because sometimes we here at the headquarters receive proposals from you and we can clearly see obvious errors in the information, errors that exist in the proposal because the AI simply invented them out of nothing. So please be really careful about this. It would also be useful to clarify what Claude actually does, because some members in the network think Claude is simply a ChatGPT or a Gemini focused on M&A. But in reality, it doesn't do anything fundamentally different from those other tools on its own. The key is really how you use it, and specifically what data you choose to connect it to. Let me come back to that point later. Okay, let me come back to this point in a moment. Right, let me share my screen with you again. Let me show you all the different databases that we actually have available to us inside ONEtoONE today. Can you all see my screen now? Okay, yes, great, perfect. Thank you for confirming that. So, as I was saying, moving forward then. So first, an important clarification. Grasp is not an AI tool itself. Grasp is actually a database, just like Inven, just like PitchBook. It's fundamentally a database at its core. We do have an active license for Grasp at the headquarters. It's a specialized database for this industry. The cost of this license is 20,000 euros per license. And with this license that we have, you can interact directly with the platform in a way that is very, very similar to how all of you already use tools like ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude on a daily basis. More and more of these databases are now adopting this conversational interface approach, allowing you to simply give instructions in plain, natural language to the system. More and more, these companies are realizing that regular users don't want to deal with complicated industry codes anymore. You really don't need to know whether North America means Mexico, Canada, or the United States specifically. The AI figures that out on its own and decides for you. You don't need to know any of that technical stuff. It's very easy to use. You describe what you're looking for in plain language and the AI does the rest. So what you mean is that this is like PitchBook or Orbis, but instead of navigating all these complicated filters and codes, you simply write what you're looking for as a plain sentence, and the database does the work for you, and also searches through company websites. Not only the websites, these databases actually pull information from many, many different sources across the internet. Websites, yes, of course, but also newspapers and news sites, LinkedIn profiles and posts, financial databases that they have integrations with, and many other third-party sources of information out there. And the AI intelligently goes out to find the information for you, wherever that information happens to exist online.
It's really very similar to how people now use ChatGPT for many tasks instead of searching Google. Because with Google, you type in a search query, and then you have to read and evaluate multiple results yourself. Decide which one is best. But with ChatGPT, or with Gemini, or with Claude, you just get one clean, synthesized answer to your question. The AI has already decided behind the scenes what the best answer probably is, and it presents that directly to you. In this case, it's exactly the same principle. The AI is connected to the database, it is connected to the internet at large, and also to its own proprietary data sources. And then it gives you the right information in the right format exactly when you need it. And then, and here I completely agree with the point Brian just made, if you don't give the AI the right instructions, if you don't prompt it carefully, you will get poor results out of it. That's exactly why we are all learning. The origination team, the research team, myself, all of us. Every single day, we are learning how to get the absolute most out of these new databases and AI tools. And sometimes what happens is you feel like you finally understand how a tool works. And then suddenly it changes and you have to learn everything all over again. Sometimes you think you know exactly how to get great results from a tool, and then the AI updates itself and the whole approach changes. It's really great when you do manage to master a tool. But unfortunately, these tools are constantly evolving, constantly changing every few weeks. The AI space as a whole is changing very, very rapidly right now. At the moment, when we think we finally understand how to use something well, the AI changes once again, and we basically need to learn everything again from scratch. Every week, there is something new to master. For example, when we tested the Grata platform a few months ago, we already know we will need to revisit it again in 6 months from now, because the evolution of these databases and these tools is completely exponential, not linear. When we first tested Grata some months ago, honestly, the performance was not that great. But in 6 more months, it could easily be excellent, top of the market. The same is absolutely true with AI in general. We all started a while ago with ChatGPT, and now today, ChatGPT is no longer the top option by default. Gemini is actually better in some areas, and Claude is better for certain specific types of things. And many companies out there are now actively using Claude, not necessarily because it's the best overall across all tasks, but specifically because it does certain specific things particularly well, better than any of the alternatives. So the landscape in AI keeps shifting week after week, month after month. And honestly speaking, it is very, very difficult. It's almost impossible now, really, to keep up with absolutely everything happening in AI. Every single day, there is completely new news, new tools, new capabilities emerging. So please, don't stress yourselves about all of it. Simply use the AI tools that you personally feel most comfortable with. Because if you end up getting a good result at the end, it really doesn't matter whether you used Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, or something else entirely. The real key thing here is that you get the right information in the end at exactly the right time when you need it most. That essentially is our main goal today and every day going forward in this new AI era. Today's goal is very simple: save you time. You personally don't need to master every single AI tool out there in the market. That's just not realistic for anyone. And to finally summarize everything today, we here at the headquarters
are constantly looking for the best tools in the market. Abraham, in particular, is dedicated to this full-time. Now, some of these tools are not yet directly connectable to Marem, and so they have to be used separately for now. Others we will be integrating directly into Marem itself, so that everyone in the network can access and use them directly. And if you find something useful, please do share it with us so we can evaluate it with the team. Thank you all very much for your attention today. Let's go for it, friends. Let's go for it.